Alright, let's do this. This is how I made this gravity-defying Genya wig from Demon Slayer, which makes me beg the question, can I just make a normal wig for once? The answer is nope. You need to make one that involves a torn-apart Goodwill wig, wire, 2 types of fabric, Elmer's, and hot glue, and yarn? So, let's dive right into how I made this crazy wig. But first, I want to say hello, my name is Mackie Makes Cosplay, you can call me Mackie. If you like this video, then make sure you like and subscribe and to see more content. So, let's dive into it. If it looks like I'm reading off screen, it's because I am. I had to write down step by step how I filmed this, or how I made this. First of all were the mohawk. I started with a strip of cardboard and then I shaped it into the fake widow's peak, and then I put notches in the sides to make sure it can curve across my head. Boom! Then next was the spikes, which was honestly the most fun I had. So this is what we got. I'm gonna go start sketching out my ideas for the look of the wig, and then I have a fun method I'm going to use for the spikes that is going to be paper. So this is just packing paper. You could use newspaper, but I'm just using this because I have a bunch of it. Once I get the shape that I like, I'm gonna wrap it in packing tape, and then I'm either gonna cover it in, I think I'm gonna cover it in polyfill, and then cover that in black fabric to get a nice base. So let's get into it. Camera change. And I shape it into a spike, and then I hold it down with some packing tape. Very simple, very easy. I was very proud with thinking up of this method.
Huh?
Oh, I completely missed the... Now I have to do this to at least 15 more times. Then after I shaped the spike, I covered it in black fabric. I was originally going to do cotton batting or something, but I decided on not doing that. It's just too much extra work. So I just took black fabric and glued that on. Okay, so this is the progress I have right now. I definitely... It looks like something, that's for sure. It is 4:30 and I started on this wig at about noon, about 11 o'clock. So I've been working on this for about 5 hours, but this is the progress I have. And next it was time to literally start with the wefts. It was really that easy. Next, I took the wefts that I had harvested from a wig and I kept them all sewn down so I didn't have to remake the wefts. And I glued the ugly side down to the base of the spike. And then I saturated both the spike and the hair in Elmer's glue and shaped it, and then used elastic rubber bands to hold its shape together. And then while it was drying, I hung it upside down to make sure that the gravity was kind of pulling all of the hair in one direction. That's what makes you beautiful. After I started on this, I moved downstairs to my dining room table because it was a lot bigger than my work desk. This is the setup we got. I ran out of glue though. I've been using Elmer's glue because Sarah Spaceman's tests on the wigs say that Elmer's glue looks the most natural. I'll link that in the description, but I ran out of glue, so I need to run to Dollar General and grab more. Okay, and 4 Chapel Roan songs later, we got everything we need. We got $1 Elmer's glue, another $1 Elmer's glue, and the cheapest hairspray I could find. I started to then start setting where each of the spikes were gonna go. I originally labeled all the spikes, but then I just ended up ditching that method. It took too much time to keep track of where each weft went. So I just glued them all down, and then I started rearranging them to make sure it was that kind of swoopy, whoosh and then whoosh kind of shape. That took forever. It was originally a 17-minute long clip that was just me arranging these wefts. Then, as easy as that, I started hot gluing them down. I personally really liked hot gluing all this stuff down. Like, I know that some people say don't use hot glue at all. Some people say using like contact cement or whatever. I don't know, like, I'm sure any of those will work, but with like the extent of what I was doing, hot glue worked really well and held it down pretty well. And then to hide the beginning of each of the wefts, I made, especially for the Widow's Peak, I made like this like fluffy, very shaped glued down weft that I made of just like some extra fiber, and then I went and glued it down a lot. So how I installed that was I glued it on, and then I styled it with a hair dryer because the heat kind of like almost melts the fibers and kind of helps you shape it. And then I hairsprayed it, used a paintbrush to smooth that out, and then hairspray again and repeated that like twice. And that made it very nice and stiff. That front point was not going anywhere because that was a very prominent part of the wig. I didn't want it to get messed up, but I still wanted it to look really good. So I felt I accomplished that. My head hurts, guys. I hurt my shoulder. And I have a dance audition tonight. Okay, next what we're gonna do is cover all of the little gaps in each of the sections, because there's like little gaps in between where I glued the sections on. So we just want to cover that up with some extra wefts of hair. So this is how I did that. So what I did is I took 2 small sections of hair and I glued one to the very bottom of the gap and one to the top of the gap. I use a paintbrush, by the way, to help with the hairspray. It likes to kind of like seep together and it's very visible, but I see a paintbrush likes to smooth that out and make it very hidden. So that's why if I ever reference paintbrushing, that's what I mean. I'm just brushing it over the hairspray to help hide it. And then I just do what I did with the last weft, and I hairspray it, use the paintbrush, hit it with the hair dryer. Make sure to hold the wefts in place when you hit it with the hair dryer, by the way, just so that it doesn't mess up a whole bunch. And yeah, just to help clean up any of the extra hairs. And hit that a few times, and that's what I did for every single one of the gaps. So now we're moving on to the base cap. I'll probably just call it like the wig cap or the skull cap, something like that. And that's the like side shape pretty much of his head. I wanted this to be a helmet wig, so I really wanted to make sure this was a sturdy wig that I could carry around. So the first thing I did was I put my hair in a wig cap and I made just the outline of my hairline with wire. That was a little difficult and I need my sister's help with that, so I did not get any footage of that. But then all I did was I wrapped my wig head stand in fabric and then put the wire on top of that, and then proceeded to hot glue the fabric onto the wire and the edges together. Then I took water and then just some more Elmer's glue, mix it together, and saturated all of the fabric. So much glue on that fabric to make sure that it would really be saturated. And then after that I let it dry. I did pick it up once or twice and like separated it from the Walmart bag I was using as like a wrap to protect the wig head, but I just made sure to let it dry fully, and once it was fully dry it was like not super strong, but it was stiff and it could like hold some weight. I am so excited about this. So this is turning out really well, I think, so I'm really excited. Experienced wig makers will already see my mistake with what I did. I did not fit my wig head with a sized fitting of my skull. So I just put the skull cap onto the wig head, which is not sized to my head. So when I took it off, it was way too small for my head. And we can see in this clip, and I was very disappointed. I'm leaving this clip in to show that not everything works first try. I had over 24 hours of footage, not to mention the time that I spent off camera working on this wig. It takes time and it is okay if you mess up. That is how it looks. So now we have to go figure out what to do. Okay. And secondly, it's okay if you're disappointed. I was very disappointed this didn't work so well because then earlier I just said it was working so well and it didn't. So it was disappointing, but that's okay because I knew exactly what to do. The thing I was trying to do, which is make the fabric stiff to hold the wig up, it worked. Whether it fit or not wasn't the point at that point. It was that it worked. I did have to remove the mohawk beforehand, but then all I had to do was remake and redo all those steps I did before with an actual fitted head base first. How I made the fitted wig base was very easy. I just saran wrapped my skull, pretty much where my hairline is, and then I duct taped it, and then my sister again marked out where my hairline was. That way it's exactly my size head, and I knew exactly where my hairline was for me. And that way I have a fully fitted head form for any future projects I have now. So finally, with the fitted cap, I went back to work on marking out where the side shapes were gonna be next. All I did was try to remember this video I had seen of someone making like an Inosuke cosplay where they used yarn wefting for fur, and I'd seen people using fur for side shaves. So I was like, what if I like mix these two? And so that's what I did. We actually had some gray yarn in our like storage or whatever, so I was trying to make some wefts out of that yarn, but I did not do a very good job, and I should have rewatched the video or a tutorial because my wefts do not look great. They're kind of all like just weird and like they look kind of crimped or whatever. You can kind of tell they're yarn, but I will have the video linked in the description, so please go check it out because it does look great, but it could have looked better. Then I put some Elmer's glue on the top of the weft just to make sure that it wouldn't fall apart, and then I just started going layer by layer from the bottom up to the top of the mohawk to make that side shape. For the hairline, I was debating doing a glued hairline, but I decided that I think the best way to make it look clean was to wrap the per se ugly ends of the gray wefts under and glue it under and then shape it around. I don't think I have very good footage of it, but just believe me when I say that. And with that, it's finally time to glue down the mohawk. Definitely the most nerve-wracking part of this whole entire project. Oh, got him there. Karma. And after that, all that was left was some final touches. I steamed the whole wig so many times. I straightened out the side shave and covered some more bald spots. And after that, it was time for the reveal. This wig was the most fun cosplay wig that I have ever made. It pushed my skill limits to the max while only costing $10 for everything I used. And later I wore it to a convention where I should have a vlog coming out for that soon, so stay tuned for that. It was heavy, so what I ended up doing was I taped my wig cap like really well to my skull, and then I had to also glue the front line and the side shaves to my face. And even with that, it kind of like to slip a lot. You can see in this clip after I jump, I'm trying to like readjust my wig, and when I got really sweaty, the wig was like kind of wanting to like slip back past my forehead. That all should be fixed because I just recently got a wig grip and I like just tried it on for fun, and it is magical. To the people who have been hyping up wig grips, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you. It's amazing. I highly recommend it if you have the money to purchase one. So there you have it. That is how I made my Genya from Demon Slayer wig. I hope you liked it, and if you made it this far, let me know how you thought of this video by liking and subscribing. Were you working on a cosplay while watching this video? Please let me know in the comments down below. I love watching cosplay build tutorials while I'm working on my cosplays. I was watching so many of them during this one, so let me know if I was your cosplay build tutorial watching video. So let me know in the comments down below. Well, Till next time, I'm gonna go because I'm really cold and want to get in my pajamas. But you make sure to drink lots of water and get lots of rest. Till next time, I love you. Bye!